All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I'm excited for today. Thank you for sticking with me throughout the little mini break. Excited to be back. Today, I have a very special guest, Kristina Wynne from the Winners Club. We are just going to jump right in. Thank you so much, Kristina, for coming on. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, and what is the Winners Club?
Sure. Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. I can't see anybody, but hey, y'all.
It's
So
okay. I can see me. I just put you there.
I'm Kristina Wynne. Like Rachel said, I own a company called the Winners Club. And what we do at the Winners Club is business development consulting. We do professional writing, like grant writing, proposal writing. We prepare business plans and pitch decks for our clients. We actually offer an online course to really support more so startup and early stage entrepreneurs in producing a business plan and pitch deck. And then we do social media marketing as well. A little bit of background about myself. I have been in the small business space pretty much my whole life. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So it's a blessing, quite honestly, because I just naturally have knowledge, I guess, or the experience or let's go for wisdom. Okay. Some wisdom in the space of small business, just because I've always been around it. And so my family owns a compounding pharmacy on the south side of Chicago. It's called 200 Pharmacy. We've been in business for 40 years this year. So that's where my entrepreneurial career or professional career kind of started. So I started actually working for my family's company as a pharmacy technician, pretty much did every job except the pharmacist, and left as the director of business development. So really learning how to grow a small business was my job. Building relationships, understanding marketing, understanding sales, and just understanding how to truly close that circle and propel the business into growth. And then I was hired by the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program in 2017 as the outreach director, and was promoted to outreach and alumni director. And that program is a education program specifically for small businesses. So again, still in that small business space. And we work with established businesses to help them grow their business through education and development. And then I started my own business two and a half or so, almost 3 years ago, the Winners Club. And so that's my baby. I've already told you what we do, but that's kind of how I got to where I am. And having a business is truly just being around small business, being inspired by small business owners, and really finding my purpose in life, which is to support small businesses. I think that covers pretty much all of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely you were kind of like born into it, and yeah, I definitely see that. But what do you think makes you so passionate about small businesses and entrepreneurship?
That's a great question. I think being able to see the impact that my family had on other people's lives, like truly being able to be impactful. You are providing them the opportunity to provide for their families. You're impacting the community, your respective community, with your business. And so I've always been I'm a helper, I'm just a helper. I'm a helper. I help people. I get gratification out of being able to support and help people. So I think, seeing that from this lens, right? Because there's a whole bunch of different ways you can help people, but seeing it from this lens in particular was just extremely impactful and powerful to me. And I always knew I wanted to have a business. I just didn't really know what it was going to be. And I think that was more of the issue than anything, because my education is in healthcare and science. Like I didn't go to school for business. I just had the experience and the upbringing of being in business, but I truly got educated in the space of science and healthcare based on my family's business, and so but just really realizing, like, this is what I enjoy. I love healthcare. My circle we will wrap back around to healthcare at some point in my long-term goals, but right now this is truly my purpose. When God puts something in you and you see that I don't even have to really work hard for this. You know what I'm saying? Like I just know it. It's just in me. And so when I realized that, I just started going with it full force because again, I'm a help person. So what I
Yeah.
do is help small businesses. So for me, I always am fulfilled when I get to operate in that space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, like you said, the purpose makes all the difference, because owning a business, starting it's not for the faint of heart at all, right? People think it's busy, they think like a good idea is going to equal a good business. And that's not always what happens, right? I think I really saw that tested. Kristina mentioned earlier about the 8-week course and everything. And I'm on week 8 of 8, right? So finishing up this week. And so you really see like you can have a good idea, but sometimes fleshing it out and all the work that it takes to get there from start to finish looks completely different. So tell people a little bit about what that course is and, who are good fits for that course.
Absolutely. So it's an 8-week course, like Rachel said, and the purpose of the course is to create a business plan and a pitch deck for your business. So it's really geared towards two different audiences. First are those people, like you said, in the business idea phase. I have this idea. I think it's a good idea. Like I see other people kind of doing this type of business and they seem to be successful. I want to start a business in this space, but you don't have a plan, right? It's like you have the passion, you might even have the money to invest, but you don't have a solid plan. And so what I've seen in my experience in small businesses, those businesses who get past that 5-year mark, which is really the goal mark for a startup business. Once you get past 5 years, it is said that you'll be successful after that.
Yeah.
You figured out, your business, and now you can really move into the place of success. So you can have a great idea, but if you don't have a plan, the likelihood of you getting to that 5 years goes down substantially. I'm talking 80% substantially. Wow. And so understanding that and also being able to operate in a space with successful small business owners with the Goldman Sachs program, I really kind of figured out where that missing piece was with some of these businesses that I would get, because we do business coaching as well. I'm a business advisor. Right. And so I would get business owners, earlier stage businesses who are frantic because they spent money, they've bought equipment, they've leased a space, they've done these things, and now they are scrambling to make money. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a plan on how they were going to enter the market. And so now they're scrambling.
Yeah.
The way that the 8-week course developed was from these type of encounterances that I continue to see. Like you said, it's not enough to have a good business idea or a great business idea. You really do have to have a solid understanding holistically of your business, right, each and every component in order to be successful. And so because we offer professional writing, at one point we were just writing business plans for businesses. Yeah. However, you miss a learning curve when we do the work for you and you're a startup and you're not doing the work yourself. And so although you have this great business plan, you've not done any of the research. You've not done any of the true work in developing this. And so you just missed a learning curve about your business. Yeah. And so the 8-week course really came from these experiences that I've been having with small businesses over the last couple of years, specifically in that startup space again. And then the other bucket are people who are looking to get a grant or a loan for their business, but they don't have a business plan. A business plan is required for a loan. And for a grant, as grant writers, the first thing that we ask business owners for who want to get a grant, do you have a business plan? We need to pull your narrative from somewhere. We need to understand your business so that we effectively articulate what your business does. And so those are the two buckets. So this is how the 8-week course goes. Each week we're building out a component of your business plan, and it is a group group learning or peer-to-peer learning where I'm not just lecturing you for the 3 hours that we're together. You are doing in-class activities. We are learning together. You're able to ask questions. You're able to add value to the group of business owners that you're going through the cohort with. We bring guest speakers in. So we bring in an attorney because we talk about intellectual property. We're talking about contracts.
Right.
We bring in a marketing expert to help you to practically understand how to begin marketing your business. We bring in a business banker so that you can understand the lending process, understand the importance of a business banking relationship. And we bring in an accountant because the financial plan piece requires, honestly, unless you just have a very strong understanding of bookkeeping and accounting and numbers, you need to bring in an accountant to support you with the financial plan and the financial side of your business. And so not only do you get the curriculum that's going to help you develop the business plan, but the added support is really valuable because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant. I can't give you I can do I understand it, but I'm absolutely not an expert in those spaces. So I want to bring the experts in for you. And then we do, you will master your 30-second elevator pitch, which is, people don't really realize how big of a deal that is, but I love talking about it because I have talked to so many people and it literally takes them 4 to 5 minutes to tell me what their business does. And at the end, I still am not even clear. And so to be able to articulate what your business does in 30 seconds, enough for someone to be intrigued to want to learn more, a powerful tool as an entrepreneur because you're always meeting people. You are your best salesperson. No one knows your business like you do as the owner. So it is incumbent upon you to be able to communicate with everybody what your business does, And so, and then you also are able to enter into a pitch competition. So not only are we giving you, the curriculum, the support, but also to be able to win some money, based on the pitch that you put together at the end of the course. So that's pretty much what the course is. It's 8 weeks. Again, it's a completely, you're going back to school for 8 weeks. It's definitely a time commitment.
Yes, it is.
The homework is real, but you will be better for it at the end of the program.
And I could just say, I think, and I love that you brought up even just the investment value of like learning to write your own business plan. Because when I having gone through it now, thinking about if somebody would have did it for me, I don't think I would feel as much ownership about my business if I did, and I wouldn't feel like everybody feels kind of like, oh, my business is my baby. But it's like when you really you spend 8 weeks nurturing every part of it where you're just like, okay, I'm really, really sold. You become more sold on it too. And so, and you feel proud, and there's a sense of pride of I did this, I created this, I put the work in for this. And so that helps. And then I think the financial part as well too, just really looking at that because you could be making money but not really making money. And I think that's what people, you kind of get it's like a wake up moment of you realize wow, I thought I was bringing all this money, but when I look at these are the things I should be planning for, maybe I'm not. And maybe maybe I am, but I need a little bit of different strategy for that money, and I think that was so great. And then you have so many different people, I know even for our little cohort, we are all in different fields. And so we really get to provide unbiased feedback for one another. And so that's really cool too. So, it was a great experience and it continues to be a good experience for me. And I know we became like a little family. So I'm definitely, I 100% recommend it, to those who are thinking about it as it comes up. And I got into it because I saw one of your ads for a masterclass. And I think that's what really even helped me to then get to the discovery call and all that. So tell people about the masterclass and what that is and what they can expect if they see that.
Absolutely. So thanks for bringing that up because I didn't even think about that. So I do a free masterclass once a month, and really by the grace of God, I have different entities that are kind of having me run it for them as well. So now it's kind of let's say 3 times out of the month, depending on who goes through. But personally, I run it once a month, and the masterclass is I teach what's called a methodology that I created called the COP method. And so the COP method is to teach you how to get a grant or a loan to start or grow your business. So really laying out foundationally what you need to know in order to be able to get that grant money or the loan money that you need. And really it's also, it's strategy. It's helping you to understand the difference because a lot of people do not really know the difference, right? You want grant money to buy equipment. As a for-profit business, because this particular class in my services in general are geared towards for-profits. Even though we're talking about grant dollars, it's more geared towards the for-profit market.
Right.
But as a for-profit business, you looking for a loan for equipment or, operating costs, right? The assumption is you're making money or you have a strategy to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to give you grant dollars for that because you're a for-profit organization. So just even understanding those different type of things, let's talk about the timeline of a grant.
Right.
People, I often hear, are waiting for a grant to get started or, waiting for a grant to do X, Y, and Z. It can take up to a year as an awardee of a grant to even see the money. And then another just piece of information people aren't knowledgeable about is that most grants they have a reimbursement leg to them. Most of them, they're reimbursable grants. So what that means is you still actually have to have the money because you pay for whatever that service or whatever you needed, that money for, and then they will write you a check based on your invoice. So if you're waiting to do anything based on a grant, that's not the strategy that you should. A grant should embellish whatever you're already doing, be added value to you, but you really do need a solid fundraising strategy or marketing and sales strategy, I should say, really for a for-profit business in order to determine how you're going to start making money.
Yeah. And that's good because I think a lot of people, I know for sure, I didn't know that, it was kind of like, oh, well, if you get a grant, then you get it. And maybe it's like a month or something, but then you get, so it's not like knowing like, oh, if this is something that's going to be a deterrent, you have to plan almost, a year in advance really for what is that going to look like and everything. So if you had to think of tips or practices, just like some basic things for people who are saying, okay, I have a great idea. I think I might have a strategy. I want to start my own business. What are the first couple of things that you would even sit down and, maybe even talk, not too much advising, because we want them to buy into your service and, see you as a coach. But, what are some good tips that you think they could start with?
So I think that first and foremost, I would cue in a business advisor or a business coach. Mm-hmm. So just a shameless plug. I work for I don't work for, but I do advising through the Illinois SBDC, Small Business Development Centers. And so it's a free service or a no cost service for entrepreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. SCORE, that's another popular mentor organization that has free mentorship. So mm-hmm. I would cue in somebody that has business knowledge at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because you need guidance, right? Unless you have knowledge in the space, you kind of just don't even know where to start, So that's the very first thing that I would do is cue in an advisor. Then I would do a SWOT analysis mm-hmm. of your business idea. And a business advisor would probably even be helpful in supporting you with that, just because you want to make sure even your SWOT analysis makes sense.
And for those who might not know what that means, what does the SWOT analysis stand for? What is that?
Girl, okay, it stands for, I literally always forget the acronym. It stands for, what's the
S? I can look it up real quick. I'm sorry, but that wasn't a question I prepared her for. So
even during the class,
it's the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. So SWOT is the SWOT analysis.
I don't know why I can't remember that. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Yes, a SWOT analysis. But you could literally Google but it's SWOT, not AT, SWOT analysis for your business, and just go through the different buckets and really do the research. If you don't know the answer, don't make up the answer. Do your due diligence is really my advice. Do the research. The people that do the best in my online course and just in general are the people who have done their due diligence and they're like, okay, I need help. Like, I understand, I know my industry, I know X, Y, and Z, but I just don't know how to get started. I don't know exactly what to do. But people who come to me looking for me to give you industry information, I just don't know it. I don't know all these individual industries, specifications. I know business in general. And so my advice would be to do your own due diligence. I should not be the one, looking stuff up about your industry. I should be able to ask you and you be able to give me some type of information on your industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are great. And I think that's SWOT analysis, because it sounds like, oh, okay, well, it's just going to be simple information. But I think those questions in that analysis really help you to do a deeper dive of, okay, maybe these are areas where I'm missing. So it seems like, oh, okay, it's just nothing. But I would definitely suggest, like you said, starting there first, because that's going to help you bring to the table what you even need to discuss with the business coach. So what does business coaching usually look like? What is that relationship like?
It depends on the individual. So some people have weekly touch points because they really need hand holding. I just really don't know what I'm doing, and I need you to be with me every step of the way. Then you have people who they kind of understand, and these are the type of people who really do well. Here's another piece of advice when you ask me what would I give somebody who's thinking about getting started, if you have not worked in the industry of the business that you want to start, you need to start with a part-time job working in that industry. There is no way you think you've gone to, you went to school for whatever, journalism, okay, and then you want to start a gym. You've never worked in a gym. You don't know the operations of the gym. Right. You don't even know the process of anything of the gym. That's not your experience. You just know that, hey, this is a good idea. I think I can make money doing this. And you go into it. If you have not worked in the industry, if you've not done the job for the type of business you are trying to start, that is where you need to start. Yeah. You have to have the experience, or you're going to be relying on other people to tell you things about your business, and they can lead you astray. You need to do yourself. So that's just because that just came in my mind. Yeah. But business coaching, so when you have a person, for instance, who is starting a business in an industry where they're very familiar, they may even still have the job, like yourself. I'm a counselor. I have a job, but I want to start a private practice. Perfect. You have contacts, you have resources, you have experience. Right. Perfect. Let's build some structure around this because you know what you're doing already. And so a person like you might not need weekly touch points. You might need monthly touch points because it's like we can walk through the session together. I can give you some deliverables or objectives to work on, goals, and then we'll be back up in a month and re-talk about it, or reconvene. So it really just depends on the individual person and the level of support that they need. Okay, great. So, I have to bring in like a mental health component so, obviously starting a business is rough, and especially in times like this, because, there is a lot of isolation. So sometimes you really don't have people to, bounce ideas off of. And, there's a lot of late nights, early mornings, all of that. We know that. So how do you balance having a good, self-care routine and taking care of your mental health while you're in the process? Because we know sometimes it's just a grind season, right? So how do you take care of yourself even in that? Boundaries. Someone told me, because I won't say that I necessarily even did that. I can say that I didn't. To be honest with you, I was completely stressed out, completely overwhelmed. Working a job. When I started my business, I was working. Well, obviously I was working. I have a child, so it was crazy. I was stressed out. But what someone told me is that you gotta set boundaries. You have to, if you have a calendar, stick to your calendar. If you say you don't take calls after 5 o'clock, then stop allowing yourself to book calls after that. If you that's good. Cut the computer off, stop allowing yourself to be so enthralled in what you're doing. It's so hard, so much easier said than done, because you start picking up momentum in your business, you get excited. You want to work on your business all the time, but what you don't want to happen is that you get so overwhelmed that you lose the love for what you are doing. Now you're frustrated, and so that's what I would say. If you could set those boundaries, it's hard for me to do. I didn't do it. I was too thirsty and excited, just wanting to work on it every day. It's like a fire in me. I gotta get it out. I gotta get it out. Prayer, really asking God, like, okay, Lord, help me to just help my mind, just help me
Yeah.
to just be okay, because you will get overwhelmed. But
Absolutely.
it's hard. It's hard.
Right. And I tell people too, one of the things that I really use for myself, because as soon as I felt like, okay, I got this, word about this is what I'm gonna do, this is the business that I'm gonna create, then I was just like immediately overwhelmed because I was like, I don't know how to run a business. I don't know what to do. I don't know, and I was just like, okay, Lord, like, let me stop. First of all, take a few breaths and then step by step. And I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me. I literally have a notebook just for my business stuff. And it was just like, okay, let me write down everything I feel I need to do to start a business. And now let me start down that list of what I need. So the first thing first, I was like, cool, I got to get an LLC. I know that's going to take some time. Let me start there first. That's going to be an investment, and all that, and planning out. And even before I started doing stuff, planning out financially what it was. How much does it cost to get an LLC? How much is it going to cost for me to maintain a website? What is that going to look? So I know, so I wasn't surprised as things came up, right? I was like, okay, I already know that if this is my timeline, this is how much I want to have saved up so I can start getting these action items done. And then just going down that list, and and it became such a, and it's like I just found so much alignment in that, because but by the time I had already done these things, then that's when I saw your ad for, like, and I had seen your ads for so long, but then I was just like, wait, you work with therapists? Like, oh, what? I didn't even know, because to me, I was like, oh, well, a small business is like, I mean, yes, having a private practice is a business, but I was just like, oh, like, this is a business, okay, and so, but it literally was like, I think was like maybe a couple of weeks, but like after I had gotten my LLC, so it was just like even just the alignment of that, like, okay, now this is my next step, and then this, and so just taking it that way and breaking it down into little pieces, because it really is easy to get overwhelmed. And like I said, I didn't want to get burnt out before I even started. So I think that's great advice. Having people that you can talk to, finding other entrepreneurs. I know there's probably a million Facebook groups and stuff like that. But I think that's one of the benefits too, of course, that I found in this program, was being able to say, okay, I now have this cohort of people who are going through exactly what I'm going through. We're at different levels. Some have established businesses, some are just starting out, but it's just like we all are experiencing the same stressors. And so we can really talk to one another about, hey, I was up to 2:00 this morning and I'm exhausted, and so how y'all making it, and it's like coffee and Jesus, but we here, and so, just knowing that you have a support system will help a lot too. And yeah, but I think that boundary thing is good. Like you said, cutting off the computer, turning off your phone, doing that, because you don't want to lose yourself in that. And then, like you say, you lose the love for it, you lose the passion, and you burn yourself out. And you don't want to do that, especially for something that you feel is your purpose, and you feel like this is my dream, this is my heart. So you want to keep that fire going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are there any encouragements or special things that you want to share when it comes to business owners, no matter where they're at in their journey?
Encouragement. What encouragement would I give? It's an endurance game. Honestly, it's not about, obviously you're in business to make money, right? But the way that people get to the place of aspiration, I want to be like that person, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't stop. It's You're gonna have highs and lows. I guarantee you that. You're gonna have seasons where you're biting your nails, like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna do this anymore. I'm not making money. I'm losing money now. I'm investing my own money in it. If you can endure through that, you can be as successful as you want to be. Honestly, it's on you. Every successful person in business that I know did not have a straight line. They didn't, all you see, it's interesting to me that you see so many more of these like YouTube ads or whatever, like, how did I make I made $7 million this year. Let me tell you how we did it real quick. I can get you there in 6 months. It's like, no,
no.
not even like, honestly, every successful business, and I know a lot of people in business because I've made it a point for me to know a lot of people.
Right.
That's my space. I want to know people. I want people to know me so I can pull on people and they can pull on me. Every successful business owner that I know got there one step at a time.
Yeah.
They continued to build. They endured through the tough seasons. So just know that if God has put this in you, okay, you're not pulling it out the air. You're not trying to get rich quick scheme or what have you. If this is purpose, it's an endurance game, and God has equipped you to do it, but you have to do your part.
Absolutely.
You have to do your part. If you got to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning, then you need to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning and finish whatever, you have to do. But if you do your part, God will continue to open the doors. And I can say that with 100% confidence. Okay.
Yeah. Same.
I don't do anything other than what God tells me to do. I don't do anything other than what God tells me to do, and I do it to the very best of my ability. I give every encounterance the same amount of energy and passion, because I know that it's doing nothing but building me up. It's building me up. And so when I really get to a place of Proverbs, I got it tatted on me, Proverbs 18:16, the Lord will use your gifts and bring you before a great man. You think I'm not? Oh, I'm going to be ready. Whatever they throw at me, whatever the conversation is, whatever the task is, I will be able to operate in excellence, because I practice excellence every single day in my business. I practice endurance every single day in my business. So that would be my encouragement.
Yeah, I love it. That's inspiring. I want to get there. I'm gonna get there. So we have a few questions. With Jessica first saying yes, 4 a.m. nights, and y'all, that is Jessica is my FaceTime buddy. We stay up, and like I said, that's finding a support system. I'm like, okay, who else I know is grinded, and so we on FaceTime 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you staying on your work, you're doing this, cool, and that made a huge difference, and so and not always 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because you can't always do it, but even if you got somebody say, hey, I really need you to hold me to this, I want to stay up to at least 11 to get this done. Have people invite that accountability, because that helps you to stay on the path, and that might encourage them as well. So I definitely say, I know that sometimes when I'll be like, okay, Jessica, how long you working? She's like, I'm gonna do another hour. I'm like, okay, I'm doing another 30 minutes, and then but then also holding each other. You said you was going to bed in 30 minutes. Turn it off, go to bed, because that's important too. Not just am I pushing you to hustle, but am I also pushing you to take care of yourself and to rest as well.
Amen.
And so she had a question. So where can beginner and intermediate entrepreneurs seek an accountant?
So accountants are, there is a free accounting. I actually wrote this down. Okay. So there is an organization called Vita, VITA. And this is an organization where CPAs do pro bono work. And so this is a good place to start, just so that, you can ask those questions and build the familiarity. But I will say, business accountants, I've heard mixed review. People, I think it really depends. It really is about finding the right fit for you, first of all. But it may mean that you have to do a little fishing to kind of figure out where that fit is. But getting started, I believe, was the question. And so I would start with Vita, because it's free. And you have a network of CPAs that are affiliated with Vita, VITA.
Cool. And I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna, when I share the replay of this, everybody, I'm going to write the links to, because you mentioned the SBDC, the SWOT analysis, different things like that.
Too.
Who was it?
SCORE, SCORE, Chicago, and that's free.
Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I add those things so that you guys can have access to that. Or in addition to that, I would also say, even if you don't know how to, familiarize yourself with QuickBooks or some type of bookkeeping and different things like that, just so so you can bring to it, so then you can even see how much help you need, right? Because I think sometimes we think like, oh, this is just going to be too hard. I'm one of those people like, I'm going to try everything at least once, and if I can't do it, cool. I'm going to operate in my gifts over here. But if I can, then at least I can try, or I can have a start. I knew it wasn't in my budget to hire a web designer right now. So I was like, let me see if I can do it, let me see, and so I think even just trying showed me, okay, maybe there are some things that I can learn, basic things. Now, of course, money is a completely different thing. So you want to bring in a professional eventually, but even if there's a way that you can organize your finances in some kind of way, even if it's just a notebook, have your stuff together. So then when you come to them, you can bring them a really good, start of, this is where I'm at. And this is where I feel like I need support in. That would just even be my advice as someone who's kind of in the same thing of like, this is how I'm trying to prepare for bringing a professional into that.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to open this up if anybody has any other questions. I see there's definitely a couple people watching. So if you have any questions specific to Kristina or to the courses she mentioned or anything just business related, definitely bring that up while people might be typing questions. Tell us, where can people find you? So your website, you say you do the masterclass a couple times a month and all that. And so socials that they can find you on, what's your information so people can find you and, maybe connect.
Yeah, definitely. So the website is thewinnersclub.org. You can sign up for the newsletter there. You can find the masterclass there. Everything's on the website. That's the hub. So any links, you can kind of just peruse through the website and just kind of see the different services that we offer. We have intake forms on the homepage. So if you're interested in a specific service, you can fill out an intake form, and then my assistant will reach out to you to schedule our call. So that's definitely an option there.
You said thewinnersclub.org?
Yep, thewinnersclub.org. And then as far as social, so the Winners Club can be that's Instagram, I have a business page for pretty much all platforms. Well, not all. Let me tell you which ones: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and YouTube. Yeah, those are the 4 that I rock with. So the Winners Club on those, and then if you want to follow me personally, Kristina Wynne on Kristina M. Wynne. Actually, I have my middle initial in there: Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Kristina M. Wynne, if you want to connect with me via social. And I share really good information. I'm pretty active on social media, and I share, the newsletter, I share different resources and stuff, but social media is quicker. It takes a little time to get that newsletter just right before sending it out. But social media, I'm always sharing just good information, grant opportunities, programs. There's so many free programs out here for people that people just don't know about. So if you just want to stay abreast with good business information, definitely follow me on social.
Absolutely. So thewinnersclub.org, and then Kristina M. Wynne for following on socials. So speaking of social media and all that, how much would you say that you engage? I know it's going to obviously look different for the type of businesses and things like that. But can you talk just briefly about the importance of a social media presence, especially in, 2020?
Yeah, I think I think everybody should be pretty clear that social media is not even an option anymore. Like, if you're in business, you have to have a social media, and you have to think about yourself as a consumer. When you thinking about, dealing with a business for the first time, you're going to Google first, right? Then you're going to look at social media, kind of see what's going on, especially if it's a service-based business, maybe not a product. Maybe products are a little different because the product is what the product is, Right. But service-based, you want to do a little bit more research. You might want to read up on somebody a little bit. So you can be an incredible, amazing business, but if somebody can't pull you up and read about you, it probably won't be the business that they'll go with. So social media is very, very important. There are different arguments about the frequency of posting on social media. I don't post every day on social media. I really don't. Because I put good content out there. If your content is rich, your market will find you. What I will tell people to do as a strategy is to really utilize your personal page to drive people to a business page. If you can create a business page, but if it's 2 people on there, you can post on there all day long, and those 2 people are going to be the only people to see it.
Yeah.
Your personal page. Stop trying to separate business and personal. You are your business, period.
Yeah.
Period. As it relates to social media, that's not a thing. Like, maybe it once was a thing. Not anymore. Use your personal following. You got 5,000 followers on Facebook. You create a Facebook page, and again, it's 2 followers, and you're not posting on your personal at all. Like, that doesn't make sense, So
right.
About it more, it's not as abstract as people try to make it to be quite honest. It's much more straightforward. If you think about it from, just think what makes sense. It makes sense for you to change your narrative on your personal page to just random things to now driving people to get people who are interested in your product or service because you want to make money.
Yeah.
Social media is not, for business. It's strategic, and it is to drive leads into your funnel so that they can turn into clients. And so think about it that way.
Yeah. And even just, and I know there's a lot of people, we have families, we share families. Like I know for me, like I want certain things to be just like, this is my personal stuff, whatever. But like I said, just driving it to business and, like sharing it consistently so that you can get that following, or you get the exposure of that following, so that again, you're just driving people to that main hub, be it your website, your socials, whatever it is. And so, there's nothing wrong with separating, but just know that you at least always want to be funneling it over here. So for sure.
The reality of it is, sorry to interrupt you, your family is going to be much more supportive, and friends are going to be much more supportive than you realize. You might feel like, I don't want to get on people's nerves because this is my personal page. Get on their nerves. Like, are you in business to make money or what? Like, what's the hold up,
Yeah.
Forget all of that stuff. If they don't want to unfollow you, let them unfollow you. But 9 times out of 10, people that's been rocking with you, they're excited for you. They want to share your stuff. They want to support you. So I would just try to remove that connotation from I share certain things on my personal. No, either you're trying to make money or you're not. Period.
Exactly. Naila is excited. She said, "Hey, Kristina."
Yes, ma'am. I like that. She spells her name. That's pretty.
Okay, so Jessica has another question. So what are just a few grant programs to find now? And I'm guessing it might be, so Jessica, if you want to make another comment, if it's specific to a certain industry, but while waiting for that comment, are there any just general ones that you can suggest?
So for-profit businesses, there are 3 main buckets of grants. Let's start there. There are capital grants, which are for building acquisition or renovation. So if you want a brick and mortar building for your business, that's a capital grant. If you need renovations to your space, that's a capital grant. Then there's a technical assistance grant. Those are grants where if you're in an area where they don't have Wi-Fi or broadband or what have you, and you need that to operate your business, that's the second bucket. You can absolutely get a grant for that pretty much any time. And then there are workforce development grants. These type of grants are where you might be like supporting second chance citizens, or underserved or under-resourced community, and you want to bring jobs to this community and kind of support, right? There are grants that will help you with that. Those are the 3 main buckets for for-profit businesses. Okay. I would encourage you to look into your respective municipalities. So your state, your county, your city is always putting grants out for different reasons, specifically for profits, because that's what you have to remember. Okay. So this for women in business. So that's the thing. Those type of private entities, it's hard to really put a finger on those because it just depends on the organization. I could tell you, let me see something right quick. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna try to find this. I was just reading over some stuff real quick not too long ago about some grants, but just generally speaking, those grants that are like, for women or for a specific group of people, those are typically like national. And it's not impossible, but it's real hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's real hard because now you're competing with thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses. Whereas if you were to hone in on municipalities, you're working with a smaller market, you can actually build relationships there. A huge part of grants, just to keep in mind, in addition to what I said before, especially when you're talking about municipalities, so where you're going to get the most traction with grants, relationships are a big piece of that. Like, the people that we, have gotten awards for, they did their part. Like, they had relationships. People knew their names. They knew who they were. And so that absolutely plays a part. I've been on the grant auditing side of things. And we look at things like social media. Are they active? Do they have a following? Are they relevant? Like, you have to think about the person giving the money. They're giving you free money, but what do they get in return? Well, they want to be able to promote, the type of businesses that they're giving money to. And if you don't have anything going on, you're not going to be a good fit for them. So that's just something to keep in mind. But those grants for like women and like Black people or Latino, they're out there, but they're tougher to get if it's from a private entity, because again, now you're dealing with the entire nation who potentially, are applying for these grants.
Yeah, and there are. I signed up for one. It's called Illinois Grant Watch, and you can like get alerts about certain categories and things that fit kind of your industry and stuff, and it's specific to the state of Illinois. So that one is cool because it's like you're not competing against the whole country. Now it's just the whole state, which is still a pretty big state, but I mean it's kind of a smaller pool. So there are different things like that. So but like Kristina said, just having those relationships. Obviously things are a little bit different now with COVID, but joining a chamber of commerce or being able or going to the events and stuff. I know that I used to find all the time on what was it, the what's that site where you can see like the events and stuff like that? I can't think, not Evite, but you can like look up different. Yes, Eventbrite. So I would look up Eventbrite and I would look up things, and it's like you could go to like these different public meetings and things like that, and using it, for networking and things like that. So finding things like that. Obviously, things are different right now because we're not meeting in person. But as things change, just doing things like that, making those relationships, and making sure that people know, like as Nyla said, she's a fan. So Kristina's name has been out there. She's recognizable, and that comes from relationships, right? And just knowing people, talking to people, getting your name out there. And so I think that's really important. So all good advice for sure.
And I'm looking, I'm pulling this thing up real quick to see. Grants.gov is another place where you might want to just get registered. That's federal, but you can, you can drill down. You can make it more specific to your needs. But grants.gov is federal, so any grants that are out there from a federal level will be here, and then you can even designate it to state as well. Like you can drill it down as much as you want. So all grants report, not all, public grants, like through municipalities or public entities, have to go report out to grants.gov. So at least from a public side of things, not private, public side, you can stay abreast on different grants that are coming down the pipeline for your respective industry.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I will make sure I share that as well, the grants.gov. Do you have any events coming up that people can look out for or may want to attend?
Yeah, I have 3 master classes. So I have one master class is with Benny Curry, and he's going to talk about life and business. So so here's the thing about entrepreneurship. When you talk about retirement, when you talk about savings and what does that look like after you retire or sell your business or whatever that looks like for you, you need to have some insurance in place. You need to make sure, even when you're thinking about health insurance and really life insurance specifically, like what does that look like for you? So that is on the 18th, I believe. And then I have another one on, I want to say the 26th, and that one is talking about building business credit. So we have Robert Lubin. Rachel, you asking me questions? Wait a minute, let me find this.
I know, I'm sorry. That was not on the you did not say.
I know it by heart, but I have so much going on. I can't remember everything. Hold on, let me pull it up, because these are really good master classes and they're free. So next year we're going to move into like a subscription model where we will have master classes every month, 3 to 4. And then you can subscribe, and then you will be able to always have access to these master classes. But they're really good.
Like I said, that I was sold by, like, I did the free one on the COP method, and I was like, wow, I don't know any of this stuff. This is great. And then we did a discovery call, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think this will be helpful. And then that led me to the class and everything. But I think it's really valuable information. And I'm, I think it's really valuable. And so I definitely suggest trying to get one. So you said on the 18th is what is that one?
The one on the 18th is life and business. I'm pulling this up right now so I can make sure I'm giving the right dates. But The newsletter, if you sign up for the newsletter on the website, you will definitely get all of this information. But um, I'm pulling it up. So the one on the 18th is at 7 p.m. and it is again Life in Business Masterclass. We will be covering, well, Benny Curry, who will be facilitating, will be covering strategies to reward and retain top talent in your organization, business succession, and maximizing after tax income to owners and their families. That's on the 18th. On the 23rd, we have David Lubin, Build Business Credit Masterclass. And David is the founder of the first co-working space on the South Side called University Co-work.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's over there by the University of Chicago.
Is that one at 7 o'clock as well?
Yes, it is on the 23rd. And he's going to show us how to build business legitimacy, open, check, and monitor business credit files, establish lines of credit for your business, and then he'll give some tips on professionalizing your business presence, selecting the right vendors for your business. So when you talk about accountants or, just whatever type of vendors or professional services that you need, kind of giving you some tips on how to make those decisions. So that's going to be on the 23rd. And then I will be doing I did that masterclass yesterday. So
okay.
Sorry, that was yesterday. Then I did a masterclass yesterday. So my masterclass will be coming back around the pipeline next month.
Okay, perfect. So, but subscribe to the newsletter and check out the website, thewinnersclub.org, because it's going to have all this information. Again, I'm going to share it. But again, just so you know, so on the 18th, there's a masterclass coming up, 7 o'clock Central Time, Life and Business. And then on the 23rd, Building Business Credit. And that's again, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely check in. So, and it's, again, great information. No cost. You're able to, get some really, really great stuff that most people are charging for. So definitely take advantage of it and just learn a little bit more about these topics. And, if you have questions, how can they, what would be their next step if they say, hey, I think I might want to work with you. I'm interested in the class, or I'm interested in business coaching. What would be their next steps for doing that?
Well, the quickest way that you can get in contact, you can fill out an intake form on the website if you want to, again, see more clearly if it wasn't completely clear about services. But if you just want to get on the phone with me so we can talk through stuff, you can either just call me or text me. If I don't answer, please leave a voice. I'll call back regardless. But if you leave a voicemail so I can know who it is, a text message is preferred because, that way I can see and then reach out to you. So my number is 312-523 8540. It looks like, can I type in this thing too?
You should be able to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I see it down here, but I didn't know if it was going to go.
Yeah.
So that's my number. Oh, you got it. Here we go. Yeah. So you can text or call, or you can shoot me an email at Kristina@thewinnersclub.org. Put that up here real quick. If you just want to get in contact with me, and again, we can talk through. Oh, it says private chat. I don't know if you all are seeing. Oh, are they seeing what I'm putting in private?
They are not. So this is a private chat. So that's just between me and you. But I can share it over. There's a comment section that I'm not sure if you're able to see. But
I can see it, but I don't think I can type in it.
Gotcha. No problem. So I'll put it over here. We go.
So yeah, definitely you can email me, text me, call me if you want to just, get the ball rolling, get on the phone, and we can have a conversation. Or again, you can go on the website and do an intake form, and then we can go through the formal process. So I can kind of get information on the front end before we get on the phone together. I'll be prepared and kind of know more about you and what we're talking about.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again. This was, again, a wealth of information. and I have just a few church announcements myself. So if you guys have seen rather the recent announcement, I have launched fully my private practice. So Amaris Counseling LLC is open for business. It is myself and I have two other clinicians on staff currently, and so we were accepting new clients. It is all self-pay at the moment. However, we do take out a network benefit. So if you decide that you want to pay up front and then you can have your insurance potentially reimburse you either partially or fully. So just check with your insurance if you're able to do out of network benefits. You can find us on our website at www.amariscounselingllc.com. And if you have any questions or anything, you can email info@amariscounselingllc.com. I will make sure I post that information as well. We serve adolescents 12 and up, adolescents to adults. And so if you have teens that might need counseling, individual adults, couples, families, do it all. And so we're definitely hoping, if you're interested and you know someone right now, we are in a very difficult times, right? And so people, need therapy and need just a support system. And so we're doing that. And so definitely excited for that. Next week, I'm going to have another guest, Taria, the heart worker. And so we're going to just be talking about some heart work and meditations and learning what that's all about. So definitely tune in for next week. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out via email or via messenger on the Therapy Thursdays with Rachel page. Kristina, did you have any final things as we wrap up?
If you're interested in the course, which I hope you are, talk to me, reach out to me, ask the questions. It's definitely helpful. It's definitely a helpful option. Business coaching is also an option, again, through the SBDC if you want to get started that way. But just cue in a business advisor. If it's not me, somebody.
Yeah.
Even I have a business advisor as well. Like, I need an objective lens. I need somebody who's beyond me. Like, I'm doing all right. I'm working hard. I always appreciate like good energy and love. Like, I really do. I work really hard. So I appreciate that, but I'm not nearly where I know God is going to take me. So I have an advisor too. Like, so if you need that, and if you feel like we might have some chemistry, if you will, by all means, I will send you the information for the SBDC. It is no cost to you at all, but utilize a business coach. Bring an objective lens in. Don't feel like you have to do it all yourself, because you really, really don't.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, I highly recommend it. It's going to be work, but you definitely are going to have the support. And that makes all the difference, because sometimes just going through the process, and again, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have your LLC yet. You don't have to have, whatever you think, if you just come, like I said, contact Kristina, reach out to her, talk with her, see what might work for you. It might be, let's do some one-on-one coaching before you join the course, whatever it looks like. But definitely, get some answers. And I know one thing I love about Kristina, if she doesn't know the answer, she's going to lead you somewhere that does. And she's not going to leave you hanging. So definitely reach out to this valuable resource. So thank you again, Kristina, for coming on and just sharing the wealth.
Absolutely. This was a pleasure. It really, really was.
Thank you. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back again. I will post all the information for the replay. And if you have any questions, reach out. And I'll see you next Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Everybody take care. Have a good one.